Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. Ned's hospitalized. BLQ asked Chase to stay away from Willow's case. Michael threatens Nina and Willow gets out of jail. Drew drives Ned to a heart attack, and Felicia finds out Portia's alibi is fake. Nathan arrives at Dante's office. He shares he's the new acting commissioner since Anna's out of town. Mac couldn't do it because he's going back and forth to Massachusetts to see Maxie. Nathan's happy for Dante, who isn't so sure. "I am a cop man," he says. They discuss how everyone's worked up over the docs and they need Nathan back on the force now that his psyche val is clear. Nathan balks, but he tells him not to feel bad. He admits he had PTSD before he returned. Nathan's sorry to hear and says he's seeing a therapist. Dante thinks Anna would be happy he's returning. He considers that he hasn't heard from her since she left PC. They discuss the messiness of being Sonny's son and Michael's brother at the moment. Laura said she'd worry about the optics if he could worry about the job. The men embrace after Nathan gets his gun and badge. At home, BLQ isn't happy that Chase didn't tell her he was actively working to get Willow exonerated. He didn't because her sympathies lie with Michael. They don't see eye to eye about who shot Drew. Chase informs his wife that he is working on this as an individual. She's still pissed he's setting himself up for an internal review or reprimand. He calls Willow innocent. BLQ reminds him he lost his badge once and it almost broke his heart. He's jeopardizing it again for Willow. They circle back and forth until Chase inquires if she is concerned that he will demonstrate Michael's involvement. She admits that she simply does not know and does not want to believe it is true or that he would frame Willow. Chase says if he doesn't see this through, he worries Willow will go down for something she didn't do. She doesn't like what her husband is doing but finds him a good man. They hug. Jacinda and Michael dine together to get to know each other better. She admits that she would make an excellent world traveler, but on her first night in the wilderness, she saw a huge spider and booked a glamping tent with a company that specializes in the outdoors. He admits he's not a big outdoor fan either, though his stepdad was. They drink to kindred spirits. When Nina arrives, they glance at each other. Wiley rushes over to tell his dad grandma's getting him a sundae. Introductions are made. Nina's not happy when he invites him to stay and aches Michael aside while Jacinda and Wiley talk about what Sundays they like. Nearby, Nina's not happy that Michael's letting her grandson hang with a call girl, as she refers to her as. Michael doesn't like the terminology and says his son's fine with her assistant. Nina barks about a family court judge not liking this. Michael doesn't like her shaming Jacinda, especially since she's done some crazy things in her own past. He tells her Willow will be locked up for good before they see the judge anyway. He threatens to kick her out of the Metro Court and her office while he lets Jacinda work there alone. As her boss, Michael says, "Actually, let's not get into that just yet." He goes to Jacinda and the kid and tells them Nina wants to take a photo of them. She does so but isn't happy. She goes and Wiley hears about Jacinda's camping trip in the outback. He wants to go to Australia. Willow enters and listens in on the conversation. At GH, Liz is happy Lucas is moving in with Marco. When she learns it's Windmere, her smile falters. She drags him away from the hub and they talk about him living with Sidwell. Lucas calls it a literal castle. They won't even see him. Liz worries he's sabotaging the relationship. She can't convince him not to move in. He calls the place and views incredible. Liz is happy for him. Meanwhile, Charlotte, Danny, and Rocco head to the elevator and discuss obtaining Britt's key fob. They arrive on another floor and go over the plan with some misgivings. Olivia and Lulu talk about how quiet it is around the Quartermaine house. Tracy's at a spa. Lulu's surprised since her boxes got lost in transit. It's a mess that Ned's supposed to handle. Olivia admits she heard Rocco and Danny talking about Britt, that the kids clammed up when they saw her coming. Lulu's concerned and calls it a struggle between her and Rocco. Olivia thinks she can trust her kid but Lulu's not so sure. She blames herself. Olivia supports Lulu as a mother and asks if she can forgive Britt. Lulu can't do it. She stole her embryo and tried to raise Rocco as her own. Olivia gets it. She wouldn't trust the woman either. Rocco's fascinated with her. She's a horror show, says Olivia, knowing he'll figure it out soon. Britt will show herself to Rocco soon enough. At Bobby's, Emma and Gio confirm getting the handoff of the key fob from the bridge. They go outside only to find Ned on the ground, gasping for air. Ned passes out. Emma rushes in to get Britt and hops on a 911 call while Ned stops breathing. Gio is about to start compressions on his grandpa when Britt rushes out. She begins compressions. Britt brings Ned into GH with the EMS and Liz shuts the door in her face since she's not a practicing doctor, she can't come. The kids find Gio and Emma and discuss their plan to go south. Britt appears and tells the group Ned's heart rhythm was restored, but he's not out of the woods. He is now in better shape. They thank her for saving Ned and Britt thinks Gio did a great job jumping in. She can't find her bag and goes to find it and Gio calls Olivia to tell her about Ned's heart attack. Britt returns and asks if the kids will go find her purse at Bobby's. They go and Emma and Gio return. Inside Ned's room, Lucas confirms to Liz that Ned had an MI. The medicine's not working, says Liz and Lucas knows if it doesn't start to, if the blood flow to his heart doesn't start working, they'll need to do a coronary bypass. Olivia and Lulu rush to Joe's side with hugs and learn what happened. Joe's been trying to call Brook Lynn. He'll try again. The day began with tension and uncertainty as news spread that Ned had been rushed to General Hospital after suffering a heart attack at Bobby's house. Emma and Gio, who had been working together to retrieve Britt's key fob, were the first to encounter the shocking scene. Ned collapsed on the floor, gasping for breath. Panic surged through them, and without hesitation, Emma sprinted inside to get Britt while Gio frantically dialed 911. As Ned's condition worsened and he stopped breathing, the gravity of the situation became unmistakable. Gio prepared to perform chest compressions, his hands trembling but determined, when Britt arrived and immediately took over, demonstrating an unexpected competence that surprised even the kids. Emergency responders soon arrived, stabilizing Ned and transporting him to GH, while Liz, concerned about hospital protocols, refused Britt entry, insisting that only licensed personnel could intervene. Despite this, the kids recognized Britt's role in saving Ned's life and expressed their gratitude, while Britt humbly credited Gio for his quick thinking and bravery. Once Ned was admitted, the doctors confirmed he had suffered a myocardial infarction, and the urgency in the room escalated as Liz explained that if medications failed to restore proper blood flow, a coronary bypass would be necessary. Olivia and Lulu, arriving to support Gio, were met with the chaos of a family emergency interwoven with ongoing tensions, their emotions a mixture of fear, gratitude, and frustration. The situation highlighted the fragile balance between personal heroism and medical protocol, leaving everyone involved acutely aware of how quickly life could change. Amid the hospital turmoil, personal and professional conflicts unfolded simultaneously. Brook Lynn, distressed over Willow's ongoing legal troubles, expressed her frustration at Chase for not informing her he was actively working to exonerate Willow. Her concerns were not purely professional, they were deeply personal, stemming from her loyalty to Michael and a fear that Chase's actions could jeopardize both his career and the life of someone innocent. Chase explained that he was acting as a private citizen, motivated solely by the need to ensure justice for Willow, yet BLQ remained apprehensive. She reminded him of the emotional toll of previously losing his badge and warned that he was risking his career once again. Their conversation grew tense, oscillating between accusation and defense, yet it was grounded in genuine care for each other and those they loved. Finally, when Chase expressed the fear that failing to act might allow Willow to be punished for a crime she did not commit, BLQ recognized his unwavering moral compass despite the danger to his career. She found herself torn between fear and admiration, ultimately choosing to embrace him in support, acknowledging the complexity of the decisions law enforcement officers face when justice and personal relationships collide. Meanwhile, Michael Quartermaine confronted Nina at a dinner where she had arrived unannounced, determined to impose her will on the evening's dynamics. The dinner, intended to foster understanding between Jacinda and Michael, took an unexpected turn when Nina attempted to restrict Jacinda's interactions with her grandson, Wiley. Michael's response was swift and uncompromising. He made it clear that he would not tolerate her disparaging Jacinda and firmly reminded Nina of the authority he held over the Metro Court and the office where she operated. Despite her persistence, Michael maintained his composure, directing Jacinda and Wiley to continue their conversation while managing the tension with Nina. In the midst of these interpersonal clashes, Michael's threats were not just protective but strategic, aimed at preventing interference in Willow's legal proceedings. Nina, frustrated and unyielding, was left to navigate the power dynamics within the family while grappling with her perception of propriety versus Michael's determination to shield his loved ones. The scene reflected the intricate interplay of familial loyalty, authority, and personal agendas, emphasizing that personal relationships could be just as volatile and consequential as any courtroom drama. The night's events also revealed the softer sides of the characters. Jacinda shared stories of her adventurous spirit, contrasting it with her first wilderness experience, where she had promptly opted for a glamping experience to avoid the discomfort of outdoor survival. Michael, admitting he was not an avid outdoor enthusiast, bonded with her over shared tendencies toward comfort rather than ruggedness, and the two toasted to their newfound camaraderie. This moment of levity, however, was quickly overshadowed by the tension that Willow's case continued to generate. Nina's disapproval of Jacinda's influence over Wiley highlighted the generational and moral conflicts that permeated the Quartermaine household, further complicating the narrative of personal freedom, parental oversight, and social judgment. Despite these conflicts, the interactions underscored the humanity of each character, revealing their vulnerabilities, desires, and the ways in which personal history shaped their responses to present challenges. At the hospital, Ned's condition served as a focal point for reflection and collaboration among multiple parties. Lucas reassured Liz regarding the medical interventions, explaining that while medications were the immediate line of defense, the potential need for coronary bypass surgery loomed if the treatments failed to restore proper blood flow. Olivia and Lulu, observing the medical discussions, processed both the technical and emotional aspects of the situation. They were acutely aware of how quickly crises could escalate, and how important it was to remain present and supportive. The kids, witnessing the efforts of adults to stabilize Ned, were forced to confront the complexities of trust, responsibility, and the unpredictable nature of life. Britt's involvement, though initially resisted by hospital policy, became a symbolic testament to the power of initiative, courage, and quick thinking under pressure. These moments underscored the theme of resilience, highlighting how collective action, personal courage, and familial support could converge to navigate emergencies that threatened both life and stability. Parallel to the medical and familial drama, other threads of intrigue and tension wove through Port Charles. Drew's actions, which had directly precipitated Ned's heart attack, remained a source of ongoing investigation and suspicion. Felicia, delving into the intricacies of the case, discovered that Portia's alibi was fabricated, adding another layer of complexity to the already tangled web of deceit and criminality. The revelation forced characters to reassess trust and alliances, questioning loyalties and uncovering hidden motives. Each discovery rippled through the community, affecting decisions and strategies in ways that would have lasting consequences. These intertwined narratives illustrated that in Port Charles, personal health crises, legal battles, and familial conflicts were rarely isolated. Instead, they collided, amplified, and influenced each other, creating a constant state of tension and uncertainty. Amidst the chaos, Nathan arrived at Dante's office, bringing professional stability into the mix as the new acting commissioner while Anna remained out of town. Nathan's presence was a reminder of continuity in law enforcement and the need for experienced leadership, particularly as internal conflicts and personal issues threatened to distract officers from their duties. Mac's inability to serve due to personal commitments in Massachusetts underscored the sacrifices and conflicts inherent in balancing professional obligations with family responsibilities. Nathan expressed cautious optimism for Dante, acknowledging the challenges of being both Sonny's son and Michael's brother during a period of heightened scrutiny and tension. Dante's ambivalence highlighted the internal conflict faced by officers navigating the dual pressures of personal identity and professional responsibility. Their conversation also touched on past struggles with PTSD, therapy, and the personal toll of public service, reinforcing the theme that heroes, whether in hospitals or police precincts, grapple with vulnerabilities and the weight of responsibility. Back in the personal sphere, the interactions between Chase and BLQ served as a microcosm of moral complexity and relational negotiation. Their dialogue revealed the delicate balance between professional ethics, personal loyalty, and the pursuit of justice. BLQ's fear of losing her husband to professional missteps contrasted with her recognition of his integrity and commitment to the truth. Chase's insistence on seeing Willow's case through, despite the personal risk, showcased the recurring motif of courage in the face of adversity. Their eventual embrace was not merely a gesture of reconciliation but a tangible acknowledgement of the intertwined nature of love, morality, and professional duty. This dynamic, juxtaposed with the hospital emergency, Michael's confrontations, and ongoing criminal investigations, illustrated the dense layering of drama in Port Charles, where every choice carried weight, and each character's actions reverberated across multiple domains of life. The unfolding events also underscored the consequences of misinformation and miscommunication. Portia's fabricated alibi, the secrets surrounding Drew's provocations, and the tension over Willow's innocence created a web of uncertainty that challenged the characters' capacity to discern truth from deception. Family dynamics, romantic entanglements, and professional responsibilities were constantly tested, requiring each individual to navigate ethical dilemmas and make difficult decisions with incomplete information. In this environment, trust became both a precious commodity and a potential liability, highlighting the precarious nature of relationships and the ongoing struggle to maintain integrity amidst chaos. Even moments of levity and human connection were shadowed by the overarching tension. Jacinda and Michael shared stories, while lighthearted, were interspersed with the looming threat of legal consequences and familial disputes. The presence of children, such as Wiley, brought innocence and perspective, contrasting with the machinations of adults while simultaneously being drawn into the orbit of adult conflicts. Lucas and Liz's discussions about living arrangements, the allure of Windmere, and the implications for relationships added another layer of interpersonal complexity, demonstrating that even seemingly mundane decisions carried emotional and social weight. Throughout these intertwined narratives, the common thread was the unpredictability of life and the resilience of those navigating crises. From Ned's sudden medical emergency to Willow's precarious legal position, from personal confrontations to professional dilemmas, the characters were forced to adapt, respond, and sometimes sacrifice personal comfort for the sake of justice, loyalty, and survival. The story emphasized the interconnectedness of personal, familial, and societal responsibilities, highlighting the tension between moral imperatives and practical constraints. Whether in hospital corridors, police precincts, or family homes, each decision resonated beyond its immediate context, shaping the trajectories of lives and relationships in profound and often unexpected ways. As the day drew on, the reverberations of each event were felt across Port Charles. Ned's recovery remained uncertain, the investigation into Drew's actions and Portia's alibi deepened, and the legal and emotional battles surrounding Willow continued to escalate. Characters were forced to confront their fears, question their loyalties, and make choices that would have long-lasting consequences. In this intricate tapestry of conflict, courage, and compassion, the resilience of individuals and families was continually tested, revealing the complexity of human behavior when confronted with crises, the fragility of trust, and the enduring strength of hope. Each moment, whether fraught with danger, ethical ambiguity, or simple human connection, contributed to the larger narrative of a community bound by shared history, love, and the relentless pursuit of justice in a world where every decision could tip the balance between disaster and redemption. In the end, the convergence of hospital emergencies, criminal investigations, legal battles, and personal conflicts painted a vivid picture of life in Port Charles, a place where courage was measured not only by professional competence but by moral clarity, where love and loyalty were tested under pressure, and where each character's choices rippled outward, influencing events in ways both predictable and unforeseen. The day's events, though chaotic and emotionally taxing, reinforced the resilience of the human spirit, the complexity of ethical decision-making, and the enduring power of family and community ties. From the near tragedy of Ned's heart attack to the strategic maneuvering surrounding Willow's freedom, the narrative encapsulated the multifaceted nature of drama, weaving together medical urgency, moral dilemmas, personal loyalty, and the ever-present tension between justice and self-preservation. In the end, it was a story not just of crisis and conflict but of courage, perseverance, and the intricate, often messy, tapestry of human relationships that defined Port Charles and its inhabitants.